Aneurism 4 is an up-and-coming online role-playing game developed by Vellocet Software, a small team of indie developers from Quebec. The game sees you attempting to survive life in a dystopian city, with the tagline being, "No goals, no rules." Naturally, this anarchy approach to moderation has led to the game becoming infamous for its toxicity. People screaming slurs, targeting minority groups, and spewing vile anti-Semitism. Just spend 10 minutes playing the game, and you'll hear how vile its community is.
The Red Cross said 71,000. 271,000. That Red Cross said.
Somebody kill the Jew!
Kill the Jew! Kill the
Kill the
Jew!
fucking Jew!
Kill it! Kill it!
None of this is bannable behavior in the eyes of Vellocet Software. At one point, there was even allegedly a griefer group posting links to child pornography on the in-game bulletin board system. Community members at the time remark how it's likely nothing will be done, although the responsible thing to do would have been to either temporarily disable the bulletin board system or straight up pull down the official servers. Vellocet did neither of these. They were all too happy to continue raking in the cash, even while players were being exposed to child pornography links. Vellocet eventually cracked down on this behavior, removing the anonymity from bulletin boards by allowing players to view the Steam IDs of message posters. Still, I find it negligent how slow their response was. I would also like to point out that spewing hatred on the bulletin boards is still permitted, with players continuing to post vile, hateful messages to this day. In spite of all of this, the Vellocet Software community manager, Aaron, has stated that he wants to continue pursuing a hands-off style in regards to moderation. Aaron is a controversial figure with a troubled history, and despite admitting to your sins supposedly being important to him, he himself refuses to take accountability for his past actions. In this video, I'll be looking into the allegations made against Aaron. On December 8, 2023, Camalot, a moderator for the now-defunct Garry's Mod Half-Life 2 role-playing server Deep Gaming, streamed pornography in the Deep Gaming Discord server in an infamous event known as the Camalot Incident. After this affair, Camalot was removed from the moderator team, later going on to leave the community and delete his Discord account. Captain Cuna. At the time of the incident, we can see Deep Gaming players speculating on whether the event was intentional or accidental. However, I would like to point out that even if we assume the whole thing was an accident, we are still left with the reality that moderator Camalot began masturbating to pornography while playing Garry's Mod, a game for children, a fact not lost on Deep Gaming players at the time. And keep in mind, this is giving Camalot the benefit of the doubt. We're going out of our way to assume the Camalot incident wasn't an intentional act, which it very well could have been. I would also like to point out that Camalot's intent doesn't change the outcome. A large number of people, allegedly including potential minors if Deep Gaming community members are to be believed, were exposed to pornography thanks to Camalot's actions. These days, Camalot goes by the name Aaron. He never used to publicly acknowledge this before, but in a now-deleted message, Aaron outright admitted it. For that reason, I won't be doing a deep dive into the evidence linking the two in this video. However, I will leave a link in the description to a Pastebin where I provide every piece of evidence I could find linking Aaron to Camalot if you're interested. I'll also throw some of the more damning evidence up on screen. Pause if you'd like to read. Anyways, Aaron defended his actions by claiming the whole incident was a lighthearted accident, which led to some jokes and teasing, but I'm not sure if that lines up with the community reactions. Nowadays, he is only remembered on Deep Gaming through memes, being compared to other notorious community members such as Amber, a furry who sought out players under 15 years old to masturbate with. I don't think any of these are jokes, Aaron. The Deep Gaming community appears to be genuinely disgusted by your actions. Shortly after the Camalot incident, Aaron attempted to rejoin the Deep Gaming moderation team, but his application was naturally rejected. Tracking the Steam ID provided reveals that Aaron still uses his Camalot account to this very day, where he now pretends to be a gamer girl named V. Checking V's Steam screenshots reveals Aaron created a character closely resembling some of his past Steam and Discord profile pictures in the 3D erotic game Breeders of the Nephilim. which sees the player character, quote, catching and breeding the Nephilim, an enigmatic race of monster-human hybrids with an overwhelming desire to mate. Truly the goofiest gooner of them all. In a complaint made against Aaron on the Garnet Gaming forums on September 8, 2019, a user named Mesfleas provides Gary's mod screenshots where Aaron discusses a problem he's having in his personal life. The problem being that, quote, someone not legal to FCK wants to FCK. He goes on to declare that he, quote, might just FCK and keep it low-key because, quote, she has some glorious TTs and an ass. In the thread, he defended himself by claiming it's legal to do that in his jurisdiction, and also that he was merely producing satire. However, I'm not sure where it's legal to have sex with people who, by his own description, aren't legal. His response would have made sense if he had provided an age, like 16, but he didn't do that. By definition, there is nowhere where you can have sex with people who are not legal to have sex with. And as for the claim that this was all satire, even if we choose to believe him here, what kind of person makes satire about having sex with children? And this is all giving Aaron the benefit of the doubt. Taking his words at face value presents us with a much darker situation. Additionally, we are given a glimpse into Aaron's personal life in his staff application. He discusses how moderating Gary's mod servers is a stressful work environment and describes spending his entire summer moderating. I guess not much has changed since he made this application. Shortly after archiving Mesflea's complaint, the Garnet Gaming thread mysteriously disappeared, and Aaron's last visited on Garnet Gaming updated to May 18th. Naturally, I have no proof that Aaron is responsible for the Garnet Gaming thread being deleted, but the timing seems suspicious. Around this time, there was a large amount of scrutiny being placed on Aaron's past, with this Smug the Robber video starting to gain traction. I would also like to note that Aaron is no stranger to deleting things. The Aneurism for Discord itself has been wiped at least twice, something which Aaron isn't ashamed to admit. Furthermore, players who bring up his history are allegedly being banned en masse from the Discord and Steam Community Hub. I even found a player alleging he was banned in-game for the crime of questioning Aaron's history. Which leads us to our next topic, false game bans. Aneurism 4 players are allegedly being game banned for association with cheaters, which appears to be a blatant misuse of the game ban system, and directly contradicts statements that Sleggy has made in the past. The game ban system is designed for cheaters, which Aaron himself acknowledges. However, he makes it sound like it's impossible for developers to abuse the system. This is a flat-out lie. There are many notorious cases of developers fabricating evidence and submitting false game bans. A more accurate statement would be developers aren't supposed to use the game ban feature for any reason other than cheating. I shouldn't need to say this, but association with cheaters is not cheating. Furthermore, Aaron has misrepresented the game ban system, making it sound as though Valve manually reviews some sort of form for game bans. This couldn't be further from the truth. From the Steam help page on game bans, quote, the game developer is solely responsible for the decision to apply a game ban. Valve only enforces the game ban as instructed by the game developer. Valve simply applies the game ban on behalf of the developer. They are not involved in verifying evidence at all. Game bans are applied through a simple HTTP post request, and Valve trusts developers to not misuse the system, something which Aaron has seemingly admitted to. If Valve discovers a developer has been misusing the game ban system, they will disable the system for that product on Steam. Therefore, if you have been game banned from Aneurism 4 for association, I strongly recommend that you file a Steam support ticket and provide Steam support with evidence, such as a statement from Aaron. I would like to add, I have a sneaking suspicion that Aaron is fabricating evidence for some of these game bans, and then passing off these fabricated manual game bans as automatic game bans. He seems determined to frame the game ban system as something which Valve manually reviews. And in my eyes, he is doing this to discourage victims of false game bans from filing Steam support tickets. If this has happened to you, please reach out to me over email or in the comments. My script for this video was originally twice as long, but I've decided to cut the remainder and instead provide short highlights. We have the lead developer Sleggy, who used to call himself Hitler, and Nickger on Steam. Aaron is in charge of the nearly 50 Discord moderators. The majority were personally handpicked by him. The moderators are committing to Aaron's lie that Smug the Robber's video is fake. If you were banned for talking about the Camalot incident in the Discord, you are directed to speak with Aaron. That's right. Aaron is in charge of investigating the allegations against himself. Many old Aneurism 4 players are former Deep Gaming players who are presumably aware of the Camalot incident but choose to remain silent. Sleggy himself is in the Deep Gaming Discord. I also wanted to point out this interaction where Aaron claims players against bigotry are calling for Vellocet software to single-handedly fix society's problems. Because banning people who yell slurs in a product you provide is equivalent to single-handedly fixing society's problems according to Vellocet. Anti-cheat measures are good in theory, but staying up for 32 hours straight to ban alleged cheaters is weird. Watching an alleged cheater push boulders for 4 hours straight is weirder, especially when you yourself have a history of being banned for cheating in other communities. Then we have Fint, the senior moderator who told a trans person they were asking for harassment because they listed that they were trans on their Discord profile. Finally, players have told me using the words goofy gooner will result in a permanent ban from the Discord. I couldn't verify these claims, but I found it too funny to not include. And I think I'll leave things at that for now. I encourage you to review the information I provided and conduct your own investigations regarding the content of this video. If you discover that I've made a mistake, please call me out in the comments, and I'll provide corrections as necessary. I also strongly encourage you to screenshot your interactions with Aaron. Lying and covering up information is never a good sign, and I believe this is a pattern of behavior with Aaron. Even back in the Garnet Gaming days, he was getting caught in lies. Only now, this is a lot more serious than simple ban evasion. Feel free to share your personal experience with this game and the strange people surrounding it in the comments of this video. I hope this video can start an open and public discussion about a subject which has been relegated to the shadows for far too long.